Ladies and gentlemen, I have a migraine. I'm in a bad mood. So let's do this. Often, I gotta tell you ahead of time, I might not have this exact same opinion as you do, and that might really make you mad. So sorry, dude. I've done my research. I have thousands of videos up here for you to see, and so I don't know. I know what I'm talking about. I think I could be wrong, but we shall see. We're talking about climate engineering, weather warfare, and the collapse of civilization. And so time and time and time and time again, especially during like a hurricane and before or after, people are like, it's all weather warfare, man. The bad guys, the boogeyman controls the weather. And I'm like, okay, no, they don't. Because one of my big points at Thor News has been the volcanoes. And so, I mean, are you telling me they control the volcanoes, dude? And remember, since I started saying volcanoes, we had the volcano in Mexico erupt, in Guatemala erupt, in the Galapagos Islands erupt, California erupt, Alaska here erupt, this one erupted. So, and I predicted all that off of solar activity, because solar activity's been pretty weird, bro. We've had a lot of coronal holes, double peaked solar max situations, and it's not just the NASA cameras. Like, I videotape, I take pictures of the sun every day. I look at the sky, I look at the colors, I look at the clouds with my own eyeballs. And I've seen some weird, weird stuff, man. So, usually when people talk to me about, oh, it's weather warfare, they control the weather, I'm like, well, how do you feel about the sun? Do you think the sun is changing at all? Do you think there's been some weird stuff going on with the sun? How do you feel about the fact that our magnetic pole is speeding up and moving at a very rapid rate? How do you feel about our magnetic shield that is weakening? And that, yeah, usually it's like stock answers like CERN's doing it. You know, and I don't know, I guess it's better for some people to believe that some boogeyman controls it all, but it's just not what I believe. And that, like, sometimes, you know, I can accurately predict hurricanes or earthquakes, though I'm no earthquake expert by any means. Go to Suspicious Observers or Dutch Sense for that. But just off solar activity and coronal holes, and by what I see outside, you know, and like I can look at the sun sometimes and be like, oh my God, that's an X-class flare. And then I go check and yeah, it's an X-class flare. So, I mean, I'm giving you guys comprehensive research. And remember, off the scenes, I've talked to people from Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon. I've talked to billionaires. I've talked to millionaires. I've talked to famous people, super rich people. Like, dude, I've done my research like you wouldn't believe. And so when I try to put all that information in the spoon and give it to you guys, I'm doing it from what I know and from what I believe. And that, you know, the people who are like, it's all weather warfare. No, it's not. And I think that's part of the disinformation program. Like, because one of the biggest fears they had was that people will start to freak out about the weather, and that your people who are in their late 40s, 50s, and 60s, who are still the core workers who are out there working and moving and shaking every day, will think, oh my God, shit is coming unhinged. I'm going to retire. And so they're spreading this illusion that even to the top level, that like, oh yeah, man controls the weather. Because if you didn't believe that man controlled the weather, you would be more apt to work together with your fellow man to unite and adapt to these earth weather changes. And so that's why, like, when they sell, oh yeah, no, your bunker is going to be super volcanoes proof. Oh yeah, your anti-grav ship in the sky is going to be totally safe from a supernova, man. It's not true. And so the idea, it's Occam's razor, man. It's like a giant hydra of greed and ignorance. Do they manipulate the weather? Absolutely. definitely like, I talked to a bunch of oil giants, that they replaced the cloud seed and they need to add fracking water. And that's, when you got to buy water from Nestle, it's a lot cheaper to cloud seed. So yes, they are manipulating the weather. But when you see chemtrails, that is for solar radiation management. Cosmic rays are through the roof. The UV rays are through the roof. Our magnetic shield is getting weaker. Our North Pole is moving at a pretty fast clip. And so, like I said, that that's why I get frustrated, because like I can do all the research, but all people got to do is like watch 1 or 2 or 3 videos on YouTube, and they're like, no, I get it. It's Agenda 2030. They're going to kill us all, except for like the 0.1%, which would never work. So like I spend a lot of time trying to convince the richest people on the planet, like any depopulation plans will never work. I mean, how do you handle the power vacuum? Like, let's say you get rid of all, like 97% of people, and then all you have left are the super rich people, and they're going to turn on each other. They have so many destructive technologies at their hands these days. And so, like, they have shit that would blow your mind, And so it's like, I don't know. One of the frustrating things you got to learn is, like, so much we've been told about so many things is a lie. Because they have the truth, and then they have like a million other stories they tell to confuse people. And so, when, like I said, when people are like, weather warfare, well, sundogs just started showing up like a decade ago, man. So why is the sun acting so weird? Why is the sky acting so weird? Why? I mean, earthquakes have been off the chain the last 2 months. Are they geoengineering earthquakes? Are they, the auroras have definitely been stronger. Most of the Steve showed up and nobody knew what it was. And so auroras and rare phenomena, like, you are seeing signs across the board. And that I want to remind people again, because it's just, I don't know, it's kind of maddening to me that people think in the same thought process that, where is this thing? Dude, okay, my head hurts so bad I can't even read. Public information. Oh, there it is. Okay. So people think that, it's weird, the same people who will be like, man is totally in control of the weather, but also the same people who are like, you can't do anything. So, well, we can't do anything about it. Let's tell everybody you're powerless and they're fully in control of the weather. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. Like, and it's even like, where's the thing about the underwear gnomes? Underwear. I'll probably redo this someday in a really great edited way. Not today though. But that's what, like, the weather warfare shit gets, like, you have to think it all the way through. It's like weather warfare ? Profit. Now, I understand how, like, in some ways you could definitely be profiting off the weird weather, but when you have, like, hurricanes crippling Hawaii, Puerto Rico, Japan, like, it doesn't, like, the global economy is a very fragile thing. It is. And so if you have, when the fiat currencies collapse, you have a period of lawlessness. And then, you lose 1 billion people in the first month when all the supply chains broke down. Then the currency would be violence. And then all the strong groups would have their drones and wipe out all the strong pockets after, and then they'd turn on each other. And so it would be like Mars, and we all die again. And so when people are like, weather warfare, that's it. It's a bumper sticker, man. Like, tell me more. Like, explain to me why the auroras have been freaking out, why the sun has been so weird, why we have a lot more volcano activity than we did 2 years ago, why the earthquakes activity is up, especially in the last 3 months. You can't just say weather warfare and then Agenda 20. Like, if literally your answers are 1 or 2 words, weather warfare. Well, who's doing it? Why? Who profits? And that, yes, they can profit in the very short term, but we are seeing major instability in the atmosphere completely, to where, let me go over here. It's just, I don't know. It's, this is my honest opinion. I'm not saying it's 100% sure, but I do not understand. And yeah, at times it seems like they could be, like when you see the models that are like, this hurricane will either flatten the East Coast or go out to sea. It seems like people could be blackmailing us, but if you remember the 2008, when we dropped interest rates to 0% and we gave basically Wall Street a blank check, you watch the monetary base jump to like a quadrillion if you add in derivatives. So they've got all the money they need to control inflation by not dumping it out very fast. It's probably too high concept for you. So if you watch the low pressure systems, like, why do they need, like, at times it looks like we're turning into Venus. And so I don't know, like, I watch all the systems, and so people will talk, like, if we get hit by a hurricane, they're like, oh, weather warfare. But how often are they watching the entire planet? How often are they looking at the jet stream? Like the whole jet stream, not just the one piece of information that helps them sell their point. And, that's my problem with the truth community is a lot of times it seems like people are trying to sell me an agenda. Like, I'm grand solar minimum. Let me sell you the grand solar minimum. Or I'm weather warfare. Let me sell you weather warfare. Or I'm flat earth. Let me sell you flat earth. Or I'm man-caused climate change. Let me sell you man-caused climate change carbon taxes. And at me at Thor News, I'm trying to sell you anything. It's that nobody knows it all. And if we're going to solve any problems, we got to come together. We have to unite as people. Let's say it is weather warfare. Well, you're like, well, we got to inform the people. Well, Building 7 fell, dude, when 9/11, when the planes hit the towers. 2 buildings fell in their own footprint. And then a third building that didn't get touched just kind of fell in its own footprint. And so nobody cared about that. Like, the evidence is clear in front of their face. Right there. People are like, well, that's a conspiracy theory. No, dude. Asking why Building 7 fell is not a conspiracy theory. It's a question. And so if people didn't kind of go, hey, wait a second, about Building 7, what makes you think they're going to be like, oh, some dude said it was weather warfare on YouTube, so hell yeah, let's fight the boogeyman. Who are we even fighting? Who controls this? I had my 2 dads were in the Air Force. Like, you literally would have to have the entire Air Force, Navy, all military in on this global plot. And if you think and the Air Force guys and women are some of my stepsisters in the Air Force. If you think they are evil people, you are dead wrong. Like, if you think that our soldiers are just all in on the Illuminati, you're dead wrong. It seems like people like to oversimplify things to feel good, because it's like all Republicans are to blame for all problems, all Democrats are to blame for all problems. This is all weather warfare. Like, if you can sum up the situation in one sentence, you're getting it wrong. I mean, it took me 3 sentences to say, I guess it's 1 sentence. When the sun acts weird, the weather acts weird, and people act weird. And so that is how my information has stayed consistent for 5.8 years or whatever here at Thor News. Because I base everything off the sun, and it works. And the sun is there every single day of my life. The sun has been there. And some days the sun is a lot shinier than others. And some days the sun looks like a giant diffuse ball that you can see through. And some days I've seen it look like a giant LED light. And so it's weird. The flat earthers come out of the woodwork, especially during hurricanes. And I'm like, dude, you're pissing me off. You're going to talk to me about flat earth during a hurricane. But they're like, dude, why don't you? It's like, I can't verify if the earth is round or flat. I definitely guess it's round. Because there's a lot of power and hydrostatic equilibrium Jupiter's round, the moon's round, the sun looks round, everything looks round. So, yep, seems round. And I've never seen anyone describe the whole flat Earth thing other than we're on a flat turtle. And so, I don't know, I'm just saying, the information I give people, like, you never talk about weather warfare. My main point is uniting people. If we're going to deal with any of this stuff, and we've seen $3 trillion worth of damage since 2017 to the United States property and infrastructure. And so, if we are going to adjust to that, we have to unite. And even if you want, even if we did have a boogeyman that's trying to kill everybody with weather warfare, you're getting the cart ahead of the horse, man. That how do you plan to make any changes if you don't unite the people? How are you going to fight a giant group that has been in power for 100 years, that literally is above the Air Force, your president, your banks, and is controlling everyone? How are you going to do it? With a YouTube video? Like, is that going to destroy that? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And that's why I recognize not a lot of people think through everything. That's what I'm here for. I try to think through it for you. And like I said, the whole idea of Agenda 21, and I recognize there are a lot of rich people who believe in the, like, yes, depopulation will work, and it won't. You know, I don't know why I'm still alive. I told a lot of rich people, your plans are dumb. They'll never work. Usually, people like that don't last long. It's a miracle. Anywho, so yeah, people like, you never talk about weather warfare. Well, I'm talking about it now, and I'm telling you, the sun is crazy. And if you stay this long, you want to get a crazy conspiracy theories. I don't think that's crazy. This is probably a neutron star right here, man. And so, whether it be Eris, one of the planets, coming in and out, we've been watching this thing for 5 years. They said it was a cat hair. And we have watched this thing develop, grow a bow shock, change, and it's there every day. You watch the light interact with it. And so, whatever this thing, if you want to get into strange conspiracy theories, this has always been the sun, which is here, and then this. I think that's in the back. And it gets bigger, it gets closer. And I think it's the real reason they have stereo fixed in the position it is. So it looks like it never moves. So, yeah, dude, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I'm way more Planet X than I am weather warfare. And yes, they chemtrail, but it's for solar radiation management. Because, I mean, if you look at any science, a lot of stars, a lot of big yellow stars have a little neutron star companion. And they draw energy off each other. They pull energy off each other in a binary system. So we've seen a lot of storms on a lot of planets, whether it be Jupiter, the red spot changing, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Mars. All the planets are changing, man. So are they weather warfaring on those planets also? I don't know. Anyway, this discussion was fun. So let everybody call me a shill or whatever. You asked for me to talk about weather warfare. I did, from the heart, as honest as I could be. And like I said, I don't know. People aren't big on changing their position. And like I said, my position is, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. And so I'm always open to hearing ideas. But when people start to preach at me like, you will believe what I believe, or I will call you names, then your position is not that solid. Anyway, love you guys. God bless everyone. Stay cool.